Good morning to all. Welcome to Unacademy Special Classes. Me, I'm Sandeep Bhushan, and my credentials are I have 8 years of teaching experience for civil services. I teach international relations and internal security along with in-depth analysis of Hindu editorials and articles. And this session is in regards to how to crack prelims and mains 2020. Prior to that, you have a notification in regards to the Let's Crack UPSC CSE English, which is India's largest learning platform. And once you get subscribed, you will have unlimited live and recorded courses from India's best educators. And the other privileges what you get is in regards to the daily live classes and live tests and quizzes, structured courses, and unlimited access. And these are all the best educators at Unacademy, which you can see it on your screen. And these are the courses in regards to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. And the other one you can also see it on the screen. These are all again the courses in regards to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. And in regards to notification, you have 12 months subscription and also 24 months subscription for Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. It's always better or recommended to go ahead with 24 month subscription, which the original amount is 48,000. And upon subscription by using my code SBT10, that is Sandeep Bhushan Thummala, you will get 10% discount out, and the discounted amount would be 43,200, which is very a best opportunity for you all, because you will be paying only for the 13 months fees, but you will be getting the subscription of 24 months. So if you haven't gone ahead with the subscription, please go ahead with subscribing without what is a further delay, and then I would also get into the class without any further delay into the class. Okay, this would be in regards to in-depth analysis of editorials and articles of today's newspaper, which I would be getting into the topic. Okay, today's topic is this, but prior to just getting into the topic, I would say very good morning to everyone. Uh, Very good morning to everyone, and hi to everyone who have been part of the class. Avinash, Kunal Singh, everyone, a very good morning, and to all, I cannot read because there are many who have joined. Everyone, a very good morning, and then Harpreet says, "Let's start, sir." Definitely, now I would start it. And then Leela Krishna is saying the easiest class regarding to IR, sir. No, actually, it is in regards to today's article itself. Today's article, today's newspaper article, but which is part of the what do you say, international relations. It is today's, and very good morning to everyone. And now I would start the class. Now, can anyone guess? Madhu has also come. Good morning, Madhu. Can you guess any guesses from Harpreet or anyone? Anyone? What is this we are talking about? What is this? I mean, this person who is here. I mean, definitely, everyone is aware that this person who is to the right hand side is the okay. The topic would be in regards to Indo-Turkey. Indo-Turkey, not exactly, not exactly. This is yeah, Russia, Turkey, definitely, yes, Russia, Turkey, and then we'll get someone when some other country in between, and then we'll get many countries in between the entire what you said the talk the discussions, and then he is Vladimir Putin, Russian President Vladimir Putin, and then can any guesses? Definitely, is this Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Recep Tayyip Erdogan. So it is Turkey versus Russia, or you can say not versus Turkey and Russia agreement. Turkey and Russia agreement. So we will look at the what you say today's topic, which is today's editorial. Today's sorry, not editorial. Today's article, rising of new order Eurasia. Harpit, okay, fine. Because I will get into the point. First, let me what you say get into the topic, and then definitely I'll get you to all that what Arpit Singh is saying, rising of the new order of Eurasia. Yes, and this is today's article, which talks about today's article Hindu, which talks about the fragile ceasefire of Syria's Idlib war. Fragile ceasefire in Syria's Idlib war. So what does it mean? That means there is what do you say, a civil war which has gone, which has been in civil war in Syria, and this civil war has created a lot of what do you say, entire disturbances within Syria. We will talk about the civil war. We will talk about something else which has really shaken the entire condition or the political, the economic situation of Syria itself. So Syria is this. I mean, you have Iraq here, fine, and then you have Turkey on the north of Syria, and this is the entire Syria. This is Syria, fine, and then you have the Jordan here. You have, I mean, in this part of Syria, this is, and then you have Lebanon here, fine. You have Israel here. This is Israel, fine, and then the capital of Syria is Damascus. So now we will look at a few what do you say, the places, and then we will get into the topic, and then we'll get into the topic. Okay, everyone who have joined now, a very big hi and a good morning to everyone. Now before that, I'll just try to, what do you say, pinpoint few of the or else highlight few of the places. Aleppo is the place one, Aleppo, fine, and then you have Latakia here, because this I will be, what do you say, talking in the course of my explanation. Latakia one, and then you have also Idlib here one, Idlib, because here it's talking about Idlib war, Syria's Idlib war, fine. So we are talking about ceasefire. Ceasefire means it's a kind of temporary arrangements. It is a temporary halt, ceasefire, and it is a fragile. Fragile means which is not, what is a perfect. It can be broken anytime. It can be broken anytime. Fine. And then you have a Derek here. Alab is one here. Fine. So this initially I'll go ahead with, and Raqqa, you have one Raqqa here. Raqqa. And you have a dam here, this one actually. It's a Shirin dam, fine. And then you have a airbase here, Idlib, fine. Now what I would go ahead is, why there was, what do you say, what was need for the civil war, and how the civil war had actually come into existence, and then what actually has happened in Syria. We will look at various aspects, and then why the ceasefire between, what do you say, in Syria is a fragile one. And the one who were actually into the ceasefire, I mean, who were the countries who have come forward to go ahead or to come up with the ceasefire in Syria is the Turkey and Russia. Both have come. There is an agreement between Turkey and Russia who have come forward, and then making sure that there would be normalcy which would come back in Syria. So this is the Syrian civil war. You have it here. It is a situation as it is. What do you say? Point the date. Even the year is 2016. So you have, see, this is what is important now. I'll talk about ISIS. That is ISIS, Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, and then you have some other portion which are again controlled. See, when I'm talking about this entirely I'm talking about Syria. Fine. When I'm talking about Syria, how much part of Syria is by the Syrian government? Fine. And then in regards to again ISIS, how much part is controlled by ISIS? That is Iraq and Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. And also you have Syrian government. You have again anti-Syrian government. So there is definitely anti-Syrian government which is also has taken control of I mean, most parts of the Syria also. Fine. So we will look at, even there is another one, that is you have the Kurds. Kurds are the tribes. Kurds are the tribes. Kurds are the tribes. You have a, what do you say, Kurds which are part of. You have it in Syria. You have it in Iraq also. You have it in Turkey also. These Kurds which are, what do you say, segregated in different parts of the or else three countries, that is even Syria, Iraq, and then Turkey also, they are segregated. So they are the Kurds, and they wanted Kurdistan, or else they wanted to have an autonomous region called as Kurdistan. Fine. So we will look at the Kurds also again later on. So these are the one. I mean, the Syria is actually controlled by Syrian government, ISIS, and then I'm talking about 2016, not now. 2016. Fine. ISIS, Syrian government, anti-Syrian government, and also the Turks. So these are the, what you say, the shades which have been given. Is this one is controlled by ISIS? I mean, this color is controlled by ISIS, and many of them was also controlled by the anti-Syrian government, and then few of them were the Kurds who have actually taken the control. See, this blue part is the Kurds which have been taken, and this is the ISIS which have been taken into control, and this one is the anti-Syrian government, and this is the scientific. So this is what you say. Initially, I am trying to give a brief introduction, or else a better picture before we actually get into this, because Syria is a segregated one. Segregated in the sense, Syrian government has its role. I mean, control of Syrian government. Anti-Syrian government is also having control over different parts. I mean, different parts in Syria, and then ISIS also has taken control in Syria, not only in Syria, in Iraq also. But here we are talking about Syria, fine. And along with that, again, Kurds is a tribe which has also taken some part of control of Syria. So Syria is totally, what you say, fragmented, wherein it is only not the Syrian government, that is the Syrian president Bashar al-Assad, who is having control over the entire Syria. I'm talking about 2016, not now. First, we'll go back to the 2016, that there were many, what you say, players or contestants who were actually taking control of the different parts of the Syria or different regions of the Syria. So that situation was there, and then that is why a Syrian civil war has taken place, because everyone, whatever we have discussed about Syrian government, anti-Syrian government, ISIS, and the Kurds, they all wanted to have their, what you say, sway in the sense, control over the Syria itself. But thereby there was a civil war, Syrian civil war. So we haven't started directly into what the topic is in regards to today's newspaper, but by the help of the, what you say, picture, the political map, we are trying to get into the point that yes, they were, what you say, civil war because of so and so reasons. Now we will get into the next point. Okay, MSD says anti-Syrian governments leagues opposition party. Yeah, exactly, opposition party, but which is a rebellion, not democratically, but rebellion, who are into revolution kind of thing, who have taken up arms. MSD Junior, I think you are understanding, who have taken up the arms to fight against the Bashar al-Assad, or the president of Syria, Bashar al-Assad. Now we'll get into the topic. So what is today's, I mean, today's article talks about it. You know, the United Nations Secretary General is Antonio Guterres, who has wanted, or he wanted, that most of the, or else all the countries should come together to fight against COVID. You might be thinking that what sir started talking about IR, and then all of a sudden immediately COVID-19. Yes, this, I mean, Antonio Guterres, even United Nations Security Council, along with what we were talking about, WHO has come forward, and then I was talking about G20, fine, and then all these countries, even international organizations, have come forward to fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Not only that, I also said that globally coordination, all the countries were coming together to fight against the COVID-19. As such, even United Nations Secretary General, UNSC Secretary General Antonio Guterres, has also called for a call that we need to come together for a bigger battle against COVID-19. So what is the battle now which is bigger than what is going on in Idlib or in Syria? Is the bigger battle is battle against COVID-19 is the biggest one. And on the pretext of that, the another conflict what we would look at is that Syria's Idlib province. So Syria's Idlib province. So who is the president of Syria? Syrian president is Bashar al-Assad. Bashar al-Assad. Bashar al-Assad. Fine. So Bashar al-Assad. Okay, I would say again. Are you teaching today? Okay. Everyone is shocked today. Sir, something I found relevant in today's situation. The Russian observer Lenin said there are decades in which nothing happens, and there 1 week in which decades happen. Okay. Okay. And then Gurlin Kaur is saying, what are you teaching today? Okay. Today I'm teaching about today's article, today's Hindu article, Gurlin. I'm taking up the topic which is of today's Hindu's article, today's newspaper, and it is in regards to the concept in regards to that is, or what the article is talking about. It is in regards to the Syrian civil war, Syrian civil war, and what were the consequences after the Syrian civil war? Who has come forward and then tried to take the advantage of the Syrian civil war, and then which are the two countries again have come together that they have come up with the agreement to resolve the issue of the Syrian civil war. That is Turkey and then Russia have come together. They had an agreement to resolve this Syrian civil war. To resolve the Syrian civil war. I think now Gurleen Kaur has understood what we are talking about. That or else what I am teaching is in regards to the Syrian civil war, and then how the Syrian civil war has taken up and who has taken the advantages, and then try to take over many parts. I mean different regions of this Syrian country, and then in the process, two countries, that is the Turkey and Russia, has come forward to have an agreement to save, what do you say, Syria. Fine, I will take up everything. Don't worry about it at all. I mean, don't worry in the sense I will give you the complete information. What I mean to say is, so, so in regards to this, now what is the biggest conflict as of now? What the West Asia is facing? What the West Asia is facing? West Asia is facing as of now is that in the Syria. Is that in the Syria? The Syria again, when we are talking about, that is in the Idlib province. So I was talking about. I will show you once again this. So this is Idlib province. Please look at this. This is Idlib province. This one, Idlib province. So there is maximum from 2016 onwards till now, or else if we go back even in regards to what you said 2014, the slowly the ISIS started taking more of territories or the regions of Iraq and Syria. This Iraq and Syria, this is all ISIS, and again this part of the the, the, the northeastern part or else the northwestern part of Iraq has also come under ISIS then. Fine. So these were the regions which were under the control of ISIS since 2014. I'm talking about since 2014. So along with ISIS, along with the anti-Syrian government rebels, and then in regards to the Kurds people, Kurds, the tribes who were part of the Syrian civil war, slowly, gradually, with the intervention of the Russia started protecting Syria. That is, Vladimir Putin started protecting or giving help to Bashar al-Assad to fight against the ISIS and to fight against the anti-rebels of what do you say, Bashar al-Assad, and also to Russia has helped Syria, that is Bashar al-Assad, to fight against the Kurds also. So in the process, almost 70% of the the provinces of Syria is under the control of Syrian government. As of now, 70 percentage. As of now, almost 70 percentage of Syria is under the control of Syrian government. Is under control of Syrian government. But there is one province, that is the Idlib province, which is still you have. I mean, what do you say? It is not the Bashar al-Assad, the president of Syria, is not trying to have the control over the Idlib province. That is what now the concern is in regards to the United Nations Security Council also, UNSC, and the Secretary General of UNSC, that Antonio Guterres, is saying that we have a major conflict, or the major conflict which is going on apart from the battle which we are all fighting against the COVID-19, that we need to make sure that the Idlib province is been liberated, and then the Syrian president or the Syrian government is part of it. And in the process, Russia had and Russia is helping Bashar al-Assad. That is, Vladimir Putin is helping Bashar al-Assad. So we will look at when Russia is helping Bashar al-Assad, who is the one who is not really helping, but he says Syria. Now Gurleen says that, Gurleen, have you understood? It is in regards to the West Asia. Okay, if you look at this entire, see, this is today's article which talks about West Asia in regards, particularly in regards to the Syria. Fine. Shushan, say this is today's article, the fragile ceasefire of Syria's Idlib. Syria. We are talking about the Syrian civil war initially, and then what is the situation in Idlib now? Idlib is a province of Syria which borders Turkey. Fine, which borders Turkey. Fine, and then we would also look at what kind of help Syria has got, or else Bashar al-Assad, the president of Syria, Bashar al-Assad, has got it from Russian President Vladimir Putin. Fine, I will go. I mean, I'll take up the entire. I'll take up the entire. Fine. So this is in regards to the Idlib. Why I'm talking about this? This is the concern. And today's article talks about this Idlib, this province of Syria. So the Antonio Guterres is saying that Syria's Idlib province involving Bashar al-Assad military forces will with support from Russia. So as I said, Russia is supporting. Okay, and the one who have all joined, again a very big hi to everyone. And then we, as I said, that COVID-19 serial. Okay, fine. So Syria's Idlib or Bashar al-Assad is being supported by Russia and Turkey's armed intervention. Now what is important is I'll tell you now. See, you have Syria. Fine, Russia is supporting Syria. Vladimir Putin is supporting Syria. Bashar al-Assad, president of Syria, and then you have Turkey here. Fine. Turkey is Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the president of Turkey. Fine. So now what is important is there is a friendly relations between Russia and then Syria, that is Vladimir Putin and then Bashar al-Assad. Fine. So there is something like which there is a kind of enmity between Syria and Turkey. So Recep Tayyip Erdogan is not having good relations with Bashar al-Assad. So thereby Recep Tayyip Erdogan is going, or else Turkey is going ahead with the armed intervention into Syria. Please understand this, armed intervention. Turkey is going ahead with the armed intervention into Syria, and Turkey or else Recep Tayyip Erdogan, he is supporting whom? He is supporting the anti-Assad or anti-Syrian government, or he is supporting they are supporting the anti-Bashar al-Assad. I will repeat once again. Russia is supporting Syria so that it is coming out of the civil war. Fine, so that it comes out of the civil war what has started exactly in 2014, that is ISIS, and then again now. So in regards to BAA, that is Bashar al-Assad, the support. So when we are talking about Russia is supporting Syria, Turkey is not really having good terms with Syria. So when we are talking about Turkey is not having good terms with Syria, that means Recep Tayyip Erdogan is going ahead with the armed intervention into Syria, and this armed intervention is nothing but Recep Tayyip Erdogan, that is Turkey's president, is supporting the Bashar al-Assad. That means the anti-government, anti-Syrian government who are fighting against the anti-Syrian government. Turkey is supporting them. So that is what the triangle, what is going on between Russia, Syria, and then Turkey. So actually the problem is with the Syria. Problem is in the Syria. That is the civil war is in Syria. But look at it. Russia has come to the help of Syria, but Turkey is again trying to create problems in Syria. So this is a triangle, and then definitely what you say in the process, what has happened is there was an agreement between Turkey and Russia, or Russia and Turkey. There was an agreement, and because of this agreement, there would be a possibility that the Syria would be liberated from the Syria civil war. So this is all about the basic information what is required for further we get into the topic. So Russia is there, Syria is there, Russia is there, Turkey is there. Russia is supporting Syria. Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, is supporting the president of Syria, that is Bashar al-Assad. But in turn, Turkey's president Recep Tayyip Erdogan is not having good relations with Syria, or else the president of Syria, that is Bashar al-Assad. So in turn, Turkey is intervening with armed intervention into Syria, and then when the armed intervention is taking up into Syria, in fact Turkey, that is Recep Tayyip Erdogan, is supporting the anti-Syrian government people or the revolutionaries who are against the anti-Syrian, against the Bashar al-Assad in Syria. Turkey is supporting the anti-Syrian government. So this is a triangle one which is going on, and in turn, what is happening is Syria is being badly hit. That is what the headlines or else the title of today's article talks about: the fragile ceasefire in Syria Idlib. Fragile means which is not, what do you say, perfect, which can be broken anytime. So this is a fragile situation which is going on in Syria, Why fragile situation is because Russia is supporting Syria, Turkey is against Syria. So Turkey, if it is against Bashar al-Assad, then nothing, no problem at all. But Turkey is supporting the anti-Syrian government. When the Turkey is supporting the anti-Syrian government, definitely the Syrian civil war will not come to an end, and that is what the point is in regards to the Idlib province is still, it's a, what do you say, warlike situation in the Idlib province. Even today the warlike situation is going on. That is what the heading is talking about, the fragile ceasefire. Ceasefire in the sense temporary agreement to stop the war, temporary agreement to stop the war. So this is in regards to the what is going on between, Syria and then Russia and then Turkey. So in this entire imbroglio in the sense, in this entire complication what is going on, there could be a possible, now again what is important for main's point of view is there could be a world's greatest humanitarian tragedy. This is very important, please do understand. Okay, fine Gurleen, no problem, you can join. You can also have my recorded session also, don't worry about it. And then because of the situation what's going on, the civil war which has started almost in 2014, wherein ISIS have taken much of the Syrian area, and then later on, as I said, the anti-Syrian government against the Kurds, all this again Turkey's invasion into, what do you say, Syria, all this is creating, or it would be a world's greatest humanitarian tragedy, and it is necessary to, what do you say, separate the priority from several contestants. And now you have several contestants here. I will talk about what are the several contestants in the sense, the one who are interfering in Syria. Please to understand here, when I'm saying several contestants, that means the one or the various countries who are having their own interest and then trying to interfere into Syria. It could be for good reasons or bad reasons. Russia definitely is supporting the Russian president to come out of the Syrian war, or else even fight against the ISIS. Yes, it did, what you say, support Syria. Russia, that is Vladimir Putin, has supported Bashar al-Assad, but definitely Russia has come to the rescue of Syria only because US is against Bashar al-Assad. Please do understand here. I would say once again here, I would get again US into the picture here. Syria, I said Russia is a good friend. Fine. I said Turkey is not having good relations with Syria. Now I'm getting someone else also into the picture. So Syria, Russia and Syria, they have a very good, what do you say, friendly relations. But Syria and Turkey, we looked at, it is unfriendly relations. And the same way you talk about US and Syria, it is also unfriendly relations. Fine. So US is not supporting the Bashar al-Assad or the Syrian government. US is not supporting the Syrian government, but in turn it supports the opposition parties in Syria. So therefore, when I am saying several contestants here, I was talking about the priorities of the several contestants. So the contestants here are Russia, Turkey, US, and also I would also get one more country here, Iran, fine, and one more terrorist organization, Hezbollah. This is a terrorist organization. It is not a country. It is a terrorist organization which is based in Lebanon. Lebanon is bordering, what is it, Turkey. Lebanon borders Israel. Lebanon borders Jordan. Turkey, Lebanon, Israel, and then further, what do you say, east you have Syria, then you have Iraq, and then Iran, further again Pakistan, and then India. Fine. So in regards to this, so look at, when I've used this word several contestants, that is very important. Okay, Ram Kumar, I would say very good morning, Ram Kumar. Hi to you. And today we are talking about or discussing about the Syrian civil war, and then Turkey and then Russia coming to the rescue of Syria, or both coming to agreement, and how best the Syrian civil war can be subsided, and then there could be normalcy or else the Syrian government could have the more of control, or else maximum control in Syria, or else Syrian government or Syrian president Bashar al-Assad would have the total control in Syria. So what is important, what you need to really focus in this third statement is that there is a probability that the Syrian civil war, or else Idlib's war, which is going on in Syria, the Idlib province, which is still under the control of what you say the anti-Syrian government, and then Turkey trying to support them, Turkey's invasion, Turkey's military having invasion into the Idlib province. So that would create the world's greatest humanitarian tragedy. Not only that, along with that, I mean, our focus would be who are the one who are actually trying to have gains, or why they are interfering into the Syrian civil war. Why? Is it because of the positive, or to what you say make sure that there will not be any humanitarian tragedy, or further their entry into Syrian civil war would create more of humanitarian tragedy is a question mark. So our analysis will be into that way. Fine. So who are the several contestants? I did explain here: Russia, Turkey, US, Iran, and then Hezbollah, which is a terrorist organization which is based in Lebanon. Fine. Now I'll get back to the next. And then before I get back to, I would say a very big hi to everyone. Good morning to everyone who have joined, because I was little bit involved, what do you say, engrossed into that topic. So now we will look at, because of the Syrian civil war, because of the many provinces which were under the control of ISIS, or else I said anti-Syrian government, or also anti-Syrian government supported by Russia, or else supported by US, or also supported by Turkey. Fine. And also said that Kurds who have also taken some part of the Syrian. So now we will get into the topic, like what is the agreement between Russia and Turkey, so that Syria will be totally liberated. Liberated in the sense it will be free, or else Syrian government will function, or it will have control over entire Syrian country itself. Not that ISIS will be in some part of, or else not that what you said the Kurds will have their sway or control in some part of Syria, some region of Syria, or else not that anti-Syrian government will have control. No, both of them wanted to have an agreement, because they wanted to have some kind of liberation, or entire liberation from various contestants. It could be international contestants or domestic contestants. Fine. Okay. And Shubhriya says that in Feb 2018, shelling by Russia and Syria process here intensified on Idlib. Okay. Especially since fighters from the Hayat Tahrir at Sham Grossi shot down a Russian warplane. Okay. Fine. 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 That also I will also underline the point in my what do you say explanation. I will underline and I'll tell. And very good, Anshupriya, you are seriously what do you say very good at this. So the latest Russia Turkey agreement, what it reaffirms, or what is the need of the Russia Turkey agreement, is that it is actually in regards to dedication to combat and eliminate. Why this agreement between Russia and Turkey? So that they both will come together, and then they both will combat, they both will eliminate all the terrorist groups in Syria. So when I am talking about all the terrorist groups, definitely it is ISIS, the first and foremost, and then Hezbollah. Fine. What you said, this Kurds, not Turks. Kurds, Kurds. Even what you say, Syria looks at it as a terrorist organization. Even Turkey looks at it as a terrorist organization. So definitely these are the one. And then you have another one also. You have what you say another. I would also focus now itself here. Just a minute. You have this. What I mean, Anshu was talking about. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, a terrorist unit. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. HTS is also one terrorist organization. So all this HTM, HTS. So This is HTS. So these are the terrorist organizations. So first and foremost important that the agreement which carries in regards to the Akash, I would say very good morning to you also, Akash here. Between Russia and Turkey is to combat and eliminate all the terrorist organizations or groups from Syria. And the agreements, both the Turkey and the Russia agreement also provides a safe passage of the M4 and M5 highways, which both these highways link Aleppo and Latakia and Damascus. So I will explain you. Don't worry about all that. I will definitely make you explain. So what is the agreement between the Turkey and Russia is that first and foremost is to combat and eliminate all the terrorist organizations, fine, and the next is to make sure that it will provide a safe passage of these highways, that is M4 and M5. So M4 is the one which links the Latakia province to Aleppo. Aleppo is a province in Syria, and Latakia is also a province in Syria, and this is the one which is the national highway, that is the highway which is called as M4, and the agreement between Russia and Turkey provides that it will provide a safe passage from Latakia to Aleppo, that is in M4 highway. M4 highway, fine, and then the another highway, that is M5, which has the linking, that is from Hama or the Damascus to the Latakia. Also here you can take it from here, that is Damascus, Hama, and then Homs, and then further you have Damascus here, and then from here you will have this link towards the Latakia or Aleppo. So you have the two highways. So the basic is the first one is this one, and the first one is to combat and eliminate the terrorist organizations from Syria, and the second one is to provide a safe passage from the to the M4 and M5 highways. And then the Syrian army had gained now the total control of M5. Now the Syrian army has gained the total control of M5, and still it is yet to gain the control over, what do you say, M4. M4. That is the another highway. And I will also explain about what is this Latakia important. Fine. Both highways are important for Syria, because these are the highways which are important for Syria. The what we are talking about, the agreement between the Turkey and Russia. Agreement between Turkey and Russia. These two are very important for Syria because they are involved in commercial and strategic. Why commercial? Because definitely it is the, what do you say, connecting various provinces. Various provinces. It is Idlib, Latakia, Hama, and then Aleppo. So that means it is connecting various, and that leads to the, what do you say, better commercial, better economic prosperity. And then other one is strategic. Now I'll come to the strategic. Okay, before the strategic reasons, I will, what do you say, look at this. And there is a new zone which has been created, which overlaps the M4, this one. So you have a zone called as demilitarized zone. So it is because of the Russia Turkey agreement, a new zone has been created in Syria. Please do understand, because of the Russia Turkey agreement, a new zone has been created in Syria. That zone is called as demilitarized zone, and this is again important for prelims point of view. When I'm talking about prelims point of view, this DMZ is important, M4 is important, M5 is important, and then in regards to the analytical point of view prelims, this agreement between both the Russia and Turkey is to combat and eliminate the terrorist groups. And which among the following are the terrorist groups also could be the question in the prelims, that is ISIS, Hezbollah, Kurds, and then HTS. HTS is also are the terrorist groups which are in Syria, and wherein as per the agreement between Russia and Turkey, they wanted to combat and eliminate these terrorist organizations so that Idlib would be free. Not only Idlib, but the entire Syria, wherein different pockets of the Syria, there are still the prominence of the terrorist organizations, they would be relieved totally. Fine. And this demilitarization zone will include the M4 highway. See, that means this M4 highway has part of the demilitarization zone, that is DMZ. Fine. Then this is as per the Russia-Turkey agreement. And this demilitarization zone is of 12 kilometer strip, which is jointly patrolled by Turkey and Russia. This is very, very important for prelims analytical point of view. This is very important for prelims point of view, because DMZ, there would be a question based on the DMZ. Demilitarized zone. Which among the following statements are incorrect in regards to the demilitarized zone? DMZ. Please do understand, everyone. Which among the following statements are incorrect in regards to the DMZ, that is demilitarized zone? So demilitarized zone is because, or it has come up because of the, or the result of the Russia Turkey agreement, and then it overlaps the M4 highway. It has a 12-kilometer strip, and this 12-kilometer strip is jointly patrolled by Turkey and Russia, not Syria. Please do understand here. That is what, which among the following statements are incorrect? There could be possibility in the prelims in regards to the DMZ. That is why I am emphasizing so much on regards to the DMZ. Now, I will come to the importance of the commercial and strategic. Okay, I will not get into much of commercial importance of M4 and M5, these highways. For, I mean, M4 and M5 are very, very important commercially and strategically, very, very important for Syria, I did say. In fact, I will not get into the depth of the commercial aspect from Syria's point of view or Bashar al-Assad point of view, but I'll look at the strategic point of view. So when I'm talking about strategic point of view, which is the place, which is the place which is strategically important for Syria and which is strategically important for Russia? And now I will let you know that why Russia has or had an intention to support Syria itself. Okay, no doubt. First and foremost is US was against, or US is against the Syria, or US is against the Bashar al-Assad's government. First and foremost, why Russia wanted or has come to the help of Syria, or why Vladimir Putin has come to the rescue of Bashar al-Assad is, the first point is that because US is against, US is against Bashar al-Assad. US is against Bashar al-Assad. Fine. And the second one is, yes, Russia, because US is against Bashar al-Assad, definitely wherever, whichever country US is having kind of enmity, or it is not having a good relation with that particular country, then Russia will interfere. It's still the what you say, Cold War is still prevailing. Cold War is still prevailing. Even the World War I and World War II have totally been eroded, or we have forgotten, at least what do you say, in the minds. But still the Cold War is prevailing. Still the Cold War is prevailing between US and the Russia. And now because US is against Bashar al-Assad, so Vladimir Putin started supporting Bashar al-Assad. Fine. Why is Vladimir Putin wanted to support Bashar al-Assad is because US is against Bashar al-Assad. First point. And the second one is this one. This one. This one. Latakia. Yes. Latakia. Arpit Singh is saying very good. It's because of Latakia. Why Latakia? Because this is a airbase. This is the airbase where Bashar al-Assad has given permission to the Russian military or Vladimir Putin itself. Please do understand. Please do understand. This and this airbase. I mean this. What do you say? A port. This is actually a port. Latakia is a port. Latakia is a port, and that is strategically important for Russia. That is strategically important for Russia because Russia will wanted, or it wanted the Bashar al-Assad to give the total, or else a kind of control, or else provide the airbase for Russia's military, so that once Russia has that, what do you say, control militarily into the airbase that is in Latakia, that means they have the control in which sea, main spot for commercial strategic pursuit. And Supriya says Mediterranean Sea. Exactly. That is what it is. Then Russia or the Vladimir Putin will have total control in over Mediterranean Sea. Please do understand. Look at the way Vladimir Putin thinks. He thinks very strategic. That is why they are all global leaders. That is why they are all global leaders. And then Russia, look at the way, even when, I mean, in 2016, when UN has gone ahead with economic sanctions on Russia, But still, Russia, I mean, Vladimir Putin is not such a kind of person wherein he will, I mean, his morale or his kind of what you say, the power to attack or the kind of what you say hegemony will not stop. He has supported, he has taken the advantage of this Syrian civil war, and then he has come to the rescue of Bashar al-Assad. And then when come to the rescue of Bashar al-Assad, his focus was on Latakia. Once Latakia is in his hand, definitely the entire Mediterranean Sea will be under the control of Russia or Russia's military itself. And now I'll come to the another point also. Russia is also, I said a couple of times in the class, that Russia is also what you say gone ahead with in 2016. It has Crimea. Crimea is a peninsula of Ukraine. Crimea is a peninsula of Ukraine. And then why Crimea? Why Russia has taken over Crimea from Ukraine? Okay, there are various political reasons, but the again the strategic reason for Russia is to make sure that Russia will have its, because Crimea is peninsula. I'm saying peninsula. So peninsula means again it will have ports. Fine. So again Russia wanted to have its, what do you say, military base. Russia's military or air base again in Ukraine or Crimea, taking Crimea, and then there also it wanted to make sure that it will have its control in Black Sea or Azov Sea. So look at the strategy taken up by the Russia. So when I was saying several contestants having their prominence, so Latakia is a air base, and then when we are talking about the Crimea here, peninsula, that is the peninsula wherein, or the port city, wherein 365 days, that 365 days it will, I mean that port will not freeze, it will not freeze. So when it will not freeze, then it is strategically very advantage for Russia to have any kind of what you say military or any kind of military operation anytime. So look at the strategy or the reasons why Russia is, or Russia had, and then Russia is supporting the Bashar al-Assad government in Syria. So definitely one is Latakia province here, Latakia, and the other one is Crimea. So definitely it wanted to have its control in the waters in Mediterranean Sea and in the Black Sea. If Russia have the control of Latakia, they have control over Mediterranean Sea, in the result that they can control the movements of the ships of various countries as Suez Canal in operating nearby. Definitely that is what they wanted, the hegemony. So that is what I was saying in regards to the Cold War between Russia and then US. So now I'll move to the next one. So now before we get into the, what do you say, the kind of Russia Turkey agreement, we will look at the presidents of both the countries. That is both the countries I'm talking about, not the Vladimir Putin, president of Syria and then president of Turkey. So president of Syria is this person, that is Bashar al-Assad. Bashar al-Assad is the president, and then Bashar al-Assad is government. That is, Bashar al-Assad's government is recognized by United Nations, but not by West. That is what I was saying in the previous screen, that US is not happy with the Bashar al-Assad government in Syria, and US wanted, or it is seriously trying to topple the Bashar al-Assad government in Syria. US is seriously trying to topple the Bashar al-Assad government in Syria, and that is what is happening, and that is what it says. It is not recognized by the West. When we are talking about West, no doubt it is USA. Okay, there would be a few other countries which would be supporting USA, but only at the, what is a that US wanted them to, what is a, support USA, to not to support the Bashar al-Assad or not to recognize the Bashar al-Assad's government. And everyone who have joined, also a very big hi to everyone. And now Bashar al-Assad wanted to have 70% of, or else he is having 70% of control over Syria. Earlier it was, what do you say, very different situation, but once Russia started supporting Bashar al-Assad, then definitely slowly Bashar al-Assad could extend his government across, or else his presidency or his government, Syrian government, over or to other provinces also. and now almost 70% of the country is in his control. And then the other, but he is still, I mean, but still now I said Russia is supporting. That means still he is under the, what do you say, some kind of control over Russia itself, because Russia is supporting, because of Russia support only now he has got control over 70% of Syria. So if you look at, he is still dependent. This is very important in regards to Bashar al-Assad. No doubt Bashar al-Assad is extending his way, his control over Syria, but still he is dependent on Russia in regards to the airstrikes, and is also, what you said, still supporting Iran. I mean, it's still dependent on Iran, because Iran also supports Syria, and then Hezbollah also. Hezbollah, I said, it is a terrorist organization. So Iran a country, and then Hezbollah a terrorist organization in Lebanon, which is based in Lebanon. Fine. So these, I mean, still Bashar al-Assad is still dependent on Russia, because of the its might, Russia's might in airstrikes, and then Iran as Hezbollah, because Iran and Hezbollah have a strong military in the sense I'm talking about ground army. The army on the ground is very strong, and that is actually, what you say, supporting, that is in regards to the ground and in regards to the air fight, air attacks. Both these are very strong now, supported by Russia in regards to the airstrike, supported by Iran and Hezbollah in regards to ground strikes, and that is actually, what you say, supporting Bashar al-Assad. And then Bashar al-Assad is definitely dependent on Iraq, dependent on Hezbollah, dependent on Russia as of now. USA wants services, USA wants their West republics on the throne of Syria, so that the way they won't recognize the establishment government there, Iran provides military government group for fight. Definitely. Now, why is Iran again coming to the rescue of Syria? Because again we know that Iran and USA are not having good terms. Please to understand here. Iran and then USA are not having good terms. That is why USA is not having again good terms with Syria, Bashar al-Assad. So when US is not having good terms with Bashar al-Assad, definitely it is the Iran which is supporting Bashar al-Assad. Fine. Look at the, what do you say, everywhere what is happening in regards to West Asia we are talking about, especially in regards to the Syrian civil war. In regards to the Syrian civil war, how it is going on. And now when we look at, what you say, Bashar al-Assad, he is little bit worried about now the situation. Now when we are looking at it, he is little bit worried, because this entire civil war is not just, as I was talking about, 2014 or 2016. It is not just 2014 or 16. The background of it, the civil war has started somewhere close to, what you say, 2011 itself. I mean, close to 2011 or 2011 it has started, prior to even 2014, when the ISIS has actually taken into control. When, how could the ISIS take into control of many parts of Syria? Because there was a civil war. Please to understand, because there was a civil war in Syria, and that civil war has, what do you say, given an opportunity for the ISIS to take over control of many parts of Syria. That means ISIS could take many parts of the Syria in 2014, 2013, 2014. That means prior to that itself, 2011 onwards, Syria is reeling under civil war, and that is the cause of concern now. Now, Bashar al-Assad is totally exhausted, because the civil war which has been taken place since 2011, almost, what you say, 9 years, almost 9 years, he's been fighting, and when he's fighting, he is totally dependent on Russia, Iran, and Hezbollah, and that is what the cause of concern for Bashar al-Assad. And he is now wanting to have some kind of, what you say, ceasefire, that there would be, Idlib also will be relieved, and then he would also have control over the Idlib province also. And that is what he is saying. He wants now the agreement between Russia and then Turkey would be a prosperous one. It would not be a temporary agreement, but a permanent agreement, wherein now Bashar al-Assad do not want to go ahead with more of, what you say, fight or civil war to continue. And as of that, not only that, Iran is also internally, Iran also has domestic turmoil, because as I have discussed, what you say, in previous classes, US has gone ahead with imposing economic sanctions on Iran, because US has pulled out of Iran nuclear deal, because US has pulled out of Iran nuclear deal in 2018. So when it has pulled out of it, it has imposed the economic sanctions on Iran. So thereby Iran is also having domestic turmoil. It is having US economic sanctions, and also added to that, again we have seen in the West Asia, the country which is very badly hit by COVID-19 pandemic is Iran. So definitely they wanted to make sure that, I mean, Bashar al-Assad will not, now he doesn't want to really be totally dependent on Russia. He doesn't want to be dependent on Russia. He doesn't want to be dependent on Iran, neither on Hezbollah, because of the various international and then national or domestic issues. He wanted to make sure that he would be he would be out of that entire domestic and then international complications, what Russia, what Iran, what Hezbollah has. So definitely Bashar al-Assad wanted a kind of truce or a temporary agreement which should be taken up, and that is what is the mindset of Bashar al-Assad as of now. Now we will look at the president of Turkey, that is Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and then who have all joined again a very big high to regards to the civil war in Syria, and then Turkey Russia agreement or Russia Turkey agreement, and Turkey's president, that is Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and he is the one who is the Turkish president, and he is of the Western Alliance. Now again, if you look at the Western Alliance, Pankaj Verma has joined, Pramod Kumar has joined, very good, and they are against Russia and wanted to have a lead role in the Arab world. Look at the, what do you say, intention or the mindset of Recep Tayyip Erdogan itself, that he wanted to have a lead role in the entire Arab world, and the whatever is going ahead, that I did talk about in the first slide, that he was going ahead with the military intervention. I was saying military intervention. Arushi Mishra, okay. Arushi Mishra, also a very big hi to you. A very big hi to you also, Arushi Mishra. And he is making sure that he wanted to extend his, what do you say, prominence even in Syria and Libya. Not only in Syria but also Libya. That means Turkey wanted to have its military intervention in Syria, not only in Syria but also in Libya. So that is the kind of, what you say, mindset from Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who is the president of Turkey. And then Erdogan is not happy with the NATO, because the way NATO is what? It is a, please tell me NATO, what is NATO? So NATO, he is not happy because NATO did not go ahead with supporting when there was a coup against the Turkish president itself, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, in 2016. There was a coup against Mr. Erdogan in his own country. North Atlantic Treaty Organization, exactly, definitely. Janavi says, very treaty organization did not come to the rescue of Recep Tayyip Erdogan when there was a coup against him in 2016, and he is also against the Syrian Kurds. I said, like, there are Kurds also in, what you said, in the different pockets of Syria. They are in Iraq. They are also in Turkey also, I said. So this Kurds is not, or else he is against the Turk, and is, what do you say, who these Kurds are against the Turkish terrorists, or else these Kurds as the anti, what do you say, a Turkish terrorist, or he looks them as a terrorist organization itself. So that is what is in regards to Erdogan. Erdogan wants to go ahead with the military intervention in Syria, Lebanon. Not only that, he was upset with the when there was a coup against him in the year 2016, and he is also against the Kurds, and he treats Kurds as an terrorist organization. And Erdogan has leveraged the refugee problem, and because of the, I said, because of the ISIS, please do understand, ISIS, Russia has supported, or else not only Russia, it was, what you say, US plus forces, along with Russia. Almost 60 plus countries have come together and fight, and then they fought against the ISIS in Iraq and Syria. US plus forces, that is almost 60 plus countries plus Russia together have fought against the ISIS, and they have almost eliminated the ISIS from Iraq and Syria. Fine. So when that was happening, there were many, what you say, refugees who have moved from Iraq and Syria into, what you say, the northeast of Syria. that is north of Syria, that is to the Turkey. So when they were entering into Turkey, he was not, or he was against the refugees who were entering into the Turkey, who was entering into the Turkey. So thereby what has happened is he did not initially go ahead with accepting those refugees who were entering from, who were part of what you say Iraq and Syria. Not only Iraq and Syria, in that process what has happened is even from Iran, Afghanistan also there were refugees who were entering into because of the civil war, and then the US forces attacking the ISIS and then flushing in the process, or in the what you say in the idea of flushing out the ISIS from the Iraq and Syria. There were many refugees part of Iraq and Syria who were getting into the Turkey as refugees, but Turkey did not accept it. But the European countries wanted the Turkey to accept the refugees, and in turn they have given the what do you say European Union has given the refugee that fund, that is 4.5 billion US dollars, and that is actually what you say Erdogan is taking the benefit of these refugees. He is always taking the benefit of refugees and is bargaining by the concept of refugees. He is always what you say getting the fund from the European Union. Please do understand, he is getting the fund from the European Union. So before I get to the next point, I will just read in what is NATO. Okay, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Arushi Mishra, you have it one about North Atlantic Treaty Organization. HINA says intermilitary alliance between 30 North American and European countries. Okay, intermilitary alliance. Okay, Anshupriya says anti-ISIL. Yeah, Iraq and Syria, or Levant you call it as coalition. That what is this? US. Okay, US has armed anti-Assad rebel groups and led an international coalition bombing. Yes, definitely. See, there when it was against the 2000, against the ISIS or ISIL, it was US plus forces. I'm talking US plus forces. Almost 60 plus countries have come together and then they fought against ISIS. In there was nothing that they wanted to what you say free the or the terrorist organizations itself. When it is terrorist organizations, are definitely it is everyone. And then Arpi says Syria becomes playground for various world powers for having the hegemony in the region and creating a biggest war crime and humanitarian crisis. That is why I've used the word several contestants. Several contestants have used this keyword or the key phrase. What is the need or what is the role of the several contestants in what is actually going on? Fine. Now I'll go to the next one. And then Erdogan also now needs that he wants to have a better relations both with Russia and then US. It's not that he wanted to have a relation only with Russia, or because NATO did not support what do you say NATO did not support Recep Tayyip Erdogan when he was under coup in the 2016. It's not that he is against US. No, he wanted to support both Russia. I wanted to have ties with both Russia and US. Why? Because he knows very well that he has to have the confidence or support of both these powerful countries. And confrontation with Moscow from 4 years, because he knows very well if there is any kind of disturbance with Russia, then the one who would be at loss is definitely Erdogan, because he had a confrontation with Russia, that is Vladimir Putin, and he could see that Turkey has experienced the economic difficulties because of the disturbances or the confrontation with Russia or the Moscow, that is the capital city. So who was at loss was the Turkey itself by having severe economic difficulties. And then what has happened is in turn Russia has gone ahead with curb on trade and tourism onto Turkey. So thereby what has happened is Turkey was reeling under economic difficulties or economic crisis. So thereby he wanted to maintain good relations or maintain very good ties with both Russia and also US. And then Turkey and Russia, now again when we look at here, see Turkey and then Russia. This is again very important for prelims point of view. Please to understand, this is very important for prelims point of view, because which among the following pipeline is between Turkey and Russia. Turkey and Russia have vested interest in the Turk Stream pipeline. This is very important. Turk Stream pipeline, which conveying Russian gas to southern Europe. So because Russia's economy is totally dependent on what? dependent on gas itself. So which is a market for Russia? It is the Europe. Which is a market for Russia? It is the Europe. So definitely it has to, what you say, go ahead with its trade in trade in regards to the gas and oil to the European countries. And when it is passing through the Black Sea, I spoke about here Ukraine. I spoke about your Ukraine. This is Crimea. Fine. So when I was talking about this, they have this, what do you say, in the Sea of Azov, or else here in Black Sea. I was saying Ukraine wanted to have its command over Black Sea and also Mediterranean Sea. I was saying. Now again in regards to this, I mean, Russia should have the support of Turkey when it is, this pipeline is passing through Turkey and then getting into the Europe. So definitely the Turk Stream pipeline is the one which is between both Turkey and Russia, and this is very important. Look at it, from the Black Sea, the Turk Stream pipeline from Russia to Turkey into the Europe. This is very, very important in regards to the prelims I'm talking about, in regards to the, what you say, international relations, and also in regards to the geography map based. Geography map based also you will have a question. Now we will look at the what is the ground situation, because of the entire discussion whatever I've discussed when I started the background I was talking about. So definitely there is a, what you say, civil war which has happened. Now when we look at the civil war, what has happened and how it has been impacted by various several contestants domestically and internationally. Now we'll look at this. See, look at this. This is, tell, you have this one Kobani, this Kobani, and then Raqqa, and then this there is Zol, and then also in regards to Homs, which we were talking about, M5, and then Idlib, and then Aleppo, and then Manbij. All these were under the control of ISIS. Please do understand. All these were under the control of ISIS in 2014. And even you have a, what you say, place called Central Syria. You have a place called Palmyra. It is a province which is in regards to civilization. It is very famous. Palmyra. Fine. So if you look at all this, that means Syria bordering the Turkey. Syria bordering the Turkey. This is what. And in the process, you have this Kurdish territory also now here. This one are the Kurdish territory. Fine. And this one, Manjib, Kobani, Tel Abyad, and then Zarikhani, and then Komishli. These all are under the, what you say, Syrian government. Fine. And then you have the US forces also here, both of them. They are the US forces withdrawn from the Turkish border. Earlier they were actually, what do you say, under the Turkish border. I mean this bordering the Turkey and then the Syria. It was taken over, or it was under the control of US forces. But later on, after the ISIS totally is flushed out, they have moved out, and then now it is under the Kurdish territory. So if you look at this again, see here you have the Turkish control. This one is under the Turkish control. So this is what is happening, and in turn what is happening is now there is a rift between Syria and then Turkey. This civil war, Syrian civil war, has turned into a rift between Syria and Turkey, and in turn, as we have said, that this Syria and Turkey are having many kind of problem in regards to how it is going on. And then this Idlib bordering Turkey is a stronghold of jihadists. Why we were talking about the ceasefire should take place, the importance of the article, Syria's Idlib war, he says. That is because this Idlib is still, which is bordering Idlib. See, this is one Idlib. This is one Idlib. So this is bordering Syria and Turkey. This is Turkey still here. Fine. Syria and Turkey. It is still under the stronghold which is funded by Qatar and Saudi Arabia, and then by Ahad Tahrir al-Sham, which is a terrorist unit. Fine. So this means they are all against the Syrian government, or they are supporting the anti-Syrian government, or they are anti-Syrian government. So that is why it's important. This Idlib has to be freed now. There has to be a ceasefire in the Idlib province. So Idlib province, again, if you look at, that means it is a stronghold of jihadists which is funded by Qatar and then Saudi Arabia, and then in regards to the terrorist organization HTS, that is Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. So this is one which is a reason why we are focusing on the Idlib, and because of that the Turkey-Russia agreement has come up, and this agreement is in the year 2018. And when it has come up in the year 2018 between Turkey and Russia, they have initially come up with a DMZ, that is demilitarized zone with terrorist organization, that is HTS, wherein they would withdraw the weaponry. That means a demilitarization zone has been created because of the aftermath or the consequences of the Russia-Turkey agreement in the year 2018. And then before that, see, okay, now I'll move to the second one. And the other one is both Syria and Turkey are each other accusing it's that both are what do you say violating the rules of the Turkey-Russia agreement, and in turn Russia is not happy the way the kind of what do you say attacks are been happening on Latakia. Why Russia is not happy? Because as I said that Latakia is a air base, and then this Idlib based jihadis, now the Idlib province which I was talking about here, see, look at this Idlib base, this is Idlib base one, and this is Latakia, this is a port city, Latakia is a port city, and as we discussed, this is M4 highway, and then this from Aleppo or from Idlib province, from Aleppo or from Idlib province, the one who has the strong control of Idlib is the jihadis. These jihadis are repeatedly bombing the, or they are attacking with the drones. There is an attack on the Latakia. Latakia is the airbase of Russian military, and that is again worrying the Russia. And when we look at all this, we have seen that M5 is totally under the control of Syria, and then M4 we were talking about, it is still having little bit of control, and which connects the Aleppo and then the Damascus. Here you have the Damascus, the Syrian capital city, and we discussed that these two highways are commercially and strategically very important for Syria. And then when we look at Syria advances brought Turkey and Syria, and then we know that definitely Syria and then Turkey are always going ahead with kind of what you say military intervention into these bordering areas, and that is causing a real concern, and that is a serious strain between the Turkish relations with Russia. And whatever the conflict is happening between Turkey and Syria is creating a problem between the relation between, or straining the relations between Turkey and Syria. And this is what you say the crisis is happening since 2015. And what you say, I think Anshu has made this point that the kind of what you say the relations between Turkey and Syria has what do you say relations have been straining, or it has been deteriorating because of what do you say Syria and then Turkey having that military operations, because of, even though they had an agreement, that is Russia Turkey agreement, but still they are going ahead with military intervention. And because, not only because of that, the other one is that downing of Russian warplane by Turkey. This is the most concerned one. Turkey has what do you say gunned down Russian warplane, So this is a cause of concern. And whether now in these situations, now whether the Russia Turkey agreement will really what you say stand at the times of now what the situation is going on in Idlib, and whether the Russia Turkey agreement will create a kind of ceasefire or a temporary agreement in Syria, in Idlib province of Syria, so that the jihadists will what is it slowly or gradually move out of, and it will be that Idlib province will come under the control of Syrian government or Bashar al-Assad, is the biggest question mark. Now if you look at what are these several contestants, what they are saying, and what is their what is their role. Russia definitely, it wanted to make sure that it wanted to take Syria as a point wherein it wanted to have its control in Mediterranean Sea, I said, in regards to Latakia. Not only that, it wanted to have an influence in the West Asian region. I did talk about this Russia having its control or dominance in West Asia when I was talking about COVID-19, and its impact on global political order. When I was talking about, I said Russia is now having dominance even in West Asia. Now you will understand, because of Syria, it has got that dominance in West Asia. And Russia will definitely, as we discussed, it is backing or it is supporting Bashar al-Assad, and it has helped Bashar al-Assad, wherein US was wanting to topple the Bashar al-Assad government. Fine. And if you look at Americans, definitely whatever the situation or the outcome because of the ceasefire in Idlib province, they will try to take the maximum benefit out of it, because they will be the gainers, because they are silently, very silently watching that what will happen between Syria, Turkey and Russia, between Syria, Turkey, and Russia. And then again talking about Russia, that what is the issue is in regards to the Idlib province, that the jihadis are actually having their control even now in the Idlib province. So Americans definitely part of the several contestants, how they are looking at it. Americans will, we will say, slowly as a bystander. Please look at it as a bystander, watching just as a spectator as of now, and then depending upon what could be the situation or the outcome, they will try to take the or try to take the maximum benefit out of it. And Europeans, they are not really worried about what will happen in regards to the result of whether Idlib ceasefire will take place or not. They are not worried about it. In regards to United Nations, definitely United Nations, because the first point what I was talking about is United Nations Secretary General, UNSC Secretary General, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres is actually wanting to make sure that there would be a ceasefire in the Idlib province, so that the Syrian government will have its control over, or Bashar al-Assad will have its control over, even in the last province, that is the Idlib province. And then it is definitely trying, what do you say, and areas or the methods that which are always far futile in the sense unsuccessful or useless methods they are going at. And then they are definitely trying the Syrian multi-party. There is a Syrian multi-party government, and they are multi-party. They are trying to support them, they are trying to pacify them, they are trying to persuade them that there should be a new constitution which will come into the existence in Syria, because of the Syrian civil war. Because of the Syrian civil war for almost a decade, 9 years. Now what is important is elections to take place, and elections to take place, a new constitution has to come into existence, and that the United Nations is persuading or trying to convince the multi-party, Syrian multi-party, that they would be coming to a conclusion or a consensus on a new constitution, whereby there would be a free elections. And once the elections would be in, what do you say, Syria, then it would be another country which would be freed from maximum terrorist organizations or internal disturbances. So this is what is in regards to the what we were talking about, the Russia-Turkey agreement, or in that the fragile ceasefire in Syria's Idlib war. So look at, we have looked at, what do you say, each and every possibility. I did try to make sure that through pictorial representation, what all is been mentioned in the article, I did try to, I did make sure that you will get it completely by not only my explanation, but through the various pictorial representation, that how, I mean, in regards to geographically or politically, in regards to highways, Latakia, Aleppo, Idlib province, and then the president of Syria, Bashar al-Assad, and then president of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and also again we were talking about the Turk Stream pipeline, which is again a prelims question. And then we did talk about what the ground situation is, which are the control of the Kurdish territory, and which are in the control of the anti-Syrian government, which are in the control of the Syrian government, or else in regards to the demilitarized zone, in regards to Russia Turkey agreement 2018, what are those agreement we did discuss. And then in regards to the Idlib province, why Russia is not happy with that, because jihadis, terrorist organizations are repeatedly going ahead with the drone attacks onto Latakia, which is a, what is a port city, which is a air base for Russia. It is a cause of concern now. And then we have also looked at what is the several contestants call, or else their view in regards to the crisis, or in regards to the Idlib war. And I think I did go ahead with the maximum explanation in regards to the prelims and also mains point of view, that what is today's article. Look at the way we have looked at what you say today's article, taking into consideration of everything possible, so that if there is any again any news or any what do you say news item which is coming in editorials, articles, or even in the newspaper in international, you will be able to connect it very easily, analyze it very easily, understand it very easily, identify or pick up the keywords and the key phrases which are useful for the prelims and for mains for your further better understanding and analysis. Harpreet Singh said that UN-led multilateralism has participated by all, but special powers for some. It is multilateralism with polarity. Okay. And Supriya says that since a year back, Bashar al-Assad's father was also attacked on military forces. Yes, that is what. See, you have the anti-Syrian government. The anti-Syrian government is also been supported by Turkey. Extremely sorry. The anti-Syrian government are also supported by Turkey. That is none other than the Recep Tayyip Erdogan by the military intervention. And they're also what you said. They have also targeted the Kurds military also, Kurds military or Kurds terrorist. So thereby, it's all what you say a better understanding what you had because of my lecture, I feel, and I think you have got the maximum benefit from my explanation as well as the through the pictorial representation, because I personally feel that if I haven't taken the pictorial representation images, probably when I'm talking about Idlib, I'm talking about Aleppo, when I'm talking about what is a M4, M5 highways, and then Latakia, and then Ukraine, Black Sea, Mediterranean Sea, probably you might not have what you say understood anything, or else it could be in a total haphazard manner, all that what is say in a zigzag manner. But probably because of this pictorial representation, you will have a thorough understanding, and it will be what is stored in your subconscious mind. Whenever you are going at with any kind of international relations, always you should have this geographically. You should have that map based. Only then you will understand better. Thank you, sir. IR with maps makes so much sense of all issues. Okay, Anshu says, sir, yes, sir, map gives a clear vision. Yes, that is what, and I repeatedly say each and every day that my intention and my point of explanation, my methodology of explanation will always be in such a way that it will be useful or benefited for the civil servant aspirants, and that is what my worry, my cause, and my concern and my hard work is. Thank you all once again, and see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. And before that, I would just go ahead with again reiterating one slide. Please go ahead with, if you haven't gone ahead with the subscription, please go ahead with the subscription. That is in regards to the 24-month subscription, which is original price at 48,000. But if you go ahead with subscription using my code SBT10, that is Sandeep Bhushan Thummala. I would write my name also, Sandeep Bhushan Thummala, THUMMALA. You would get a 10% discount, and the discounted amount would be 43,000. The reason is because you will be actually effectively paying for only 13 months the amount, that is 40,000 for 12 months and then 8,000 original price for 1 month. But you would be getting the entire 24-month subscription, wherein 2 years is very important for the solid preparation for UPSC exam, and thereby by going ahead with just 13 months payment, you would get 24 month subscription. So go ahead with taking this opportunity, and then please go ahead with, while you are subscribing, please go ahead with using my code SPT10, and make sure that you are also making your friends also be useful of this subscription by just paying for 13 months and then using it for or subscribing it for 24 months. Thank you very much. Thank you all, and then see you tomorrow once again. And do you want a break or should I continue tomorrow? I'm asking everyone. Do you want a break? Break in the sense not now. I'm talking about tomorrow or later on. Do you want a break, or you wanted to go ahead with me continuing? Break. Anshupriya says break. Okay. Okay. Uh, okay. Fine. I will go ahead with. I will continue. Oh, why Anshu? I mean, any specific reason, Anshu Priya? Is that you're not getting my what do you say the teaching or the explanation part of it? Okay. No, no. For that, definitely I'll give you time. Definitely I'll give you time. Even I want to take some what do you say kind of even I want to. I will also, but tomorrow, yes, for tomorrow I will go ahead. And thank you all.